In today's video, we will be learning to make this beautiful puffy and soft stitch that you can use to make a scarf, a baby blanket, an afghan, or any other project of your choice. If you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment below. Reading your comments is always very enjoyable for me. They are a great way to motivate me and keep me creative. There is only one repeating row in the pattern, which is very easy to remember, but do keep in mind that this stitch takes a lot of yarn. The fabric that this stitch creates is quite thick and warm. I used 3 skeins of soft and shiny yarn by Loops and Threads and a hook size H 5 mm. My scarf came out 75 inches long and 8.5 inches wide. Alright, let's get started on this stitch. This stitch is a multiple of 5, and for my scarf I start with chain 35. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here I have 35 chains and I'm ready to start my first row. Into the 7th chain from the hook I will make a puff stitch. We never count the chain on the hook, we always start counting from the next chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So into this chain I make a puff stitch. Yarn over and I insert the hook and draw up a loop. Again, yarn over, I insert the hook and draw up a loop. Again, yarn over, insert the hook, draw up a loop. And one more time, yarn over, insert the hook, draw up a loop. And I did this a total of 4 times, so now I have 8 loops and 1 chain on my hook. Now yarn over, and I draw yarn through all the 8 loops. And now I have 1 chain and 1 loop on my hook. Then yarn over and I draw a loop through both of them. And my puff stitch is made. Next, into the same chain, I work 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, I skip 4 chains. Note that after I made a puff stitch and 4 double crochets into the same chain, the next chain becomes very small and difficult to see. So make sure you are skipping 4 chains and not 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And into this 5th chain, I make a puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I draw yarn through all the 8 loops. Then I draw yarn through 2 loops on my hook. And my next puff stitch is made. And again, into the same chain, I work 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I skip 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next chain I make a puff stitch again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 2 loops on the hook and I finish them together, and into the same chain I make 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I continue crocheting this way until the end of this row. Here I am at the end of this row, and now I have 3 chains left. So I skip 2 chains and make a double crochet into the last chain. And in my first row I have 6 pattern repeats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I start row 2 with 3 chains and turn. And now I will be working into the space in between first 2 double crochets of this double crochet group over here. So yarn over and into the space I make a puff stitch again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then into the same space I work 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to skip these 3 double crochets and the puff stitch, and where the next group of double crochets is, into the space between the first 2, I will be working my next puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. And into the same space I make 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I'm going to skip the rest of these double crochets and the puff stitch, and I will be working into the space between the first 2 double crochets over here. I make a puff stitch, 2, 3, 4, and I make 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I continue crocheting this way until the end of this row. Here I am at the end of this row, and I'm going to finish it with a double crochet into the top chain of this last chain over here. And my second row is finished. Chain 3 turn, and now I just continue repeating row 2. Into the space in between the first 2 double crochets of this next group, I make a puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I make 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I skip the rest of this group, these 3 double crochets and the puff stitch, and I work into the space between the 2 double crochets of the next group. So again, a puff stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I continue crocheting this way until the end of this row. Here I am at the end of this row, and again I will finish it with a double crochet into the top chain of this turning chain 3. The stitch looks the same on both sides, and from this point I just need to continue repeating row 2. Here I repeated row 2 several times, and you can see how beautiful this stitch looks. It's very soft and puffy, and it's also very thick, so it will make a warm and comfortable scarf. And that's how simple it is to make this scarf. You just continue crocheting until you reach the scarf of your desired length. The edges are pretty straight on the sides as well as top and bottom, so there is no need to crochet in edging. You can leave it just like this, and if you wish you can add fringe to your scarf.